Let's go, baby!
Members of your PBS station, thank you.
Good evening and welcome to the special Election 2022 edition of Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Tonight, in a debate sponsored by Clean Elections, your source for nonpartisan official election information, we feature a debate between the Republican candidates for Arizona governor. Now, this is not a formal debate. It's an open exchange of ideas, an opportunity for give and take between candidates for one of the state's most important offices. As such, interjections, even interruptions, are allowed, provided that all sides...
I'm not too high to commentate on this shit show while playing a video game, okay? This is what I do on the regular, okay? It's like riding a bicycle, only this time I'm riding two bicycles, which is also known as riding a car, okay? Basically, slap two bicycles together, you get a car, right? It's not that hard. Boom, let's go.
Get a fair shake.
Don't think about what I said too much.
That happens. Before we begin, of note, the original agreement for tonight's debate was to have one moderator. Plans were later changed to add a second moderator, but the campaigns were not notified of the change until less than 24 hours ago. In the interest of fairness, we decided to honor the original agreement. Let's get things started. Candidates will give opening statements in a randomly selected order and will give closing statements in the opposite order. Joining us now for tonight's debate in order...
Look, no, a tandem bicycle is one bicycle, but one person is behind the other person. A tandem bike is very different. Archangel, that's where you're wrong. I didn't plan any content. I have a tab that says today on it, and the content that was planned in the today tab was planned weeks ago, and then we just never got around to it.
Of opening statements, businessman Scott Neely.
I thought for a moment he was just introducing a person named Businessman, as in someone who had changed their first name to business, last name to man. Honestly, I'm surprised no one's done that in the Republican Party yet. I'm surprised no one in the Republican... My name is Mr. Man, but my friends call me Business. Hello! You may refer to me by my full name if you wish. Businessman. My ancestors came here, but to fit in, we changed our family name from businessman to businessman. All right. Anyway, sorry. Continuing on.
Woman Paula Tuliani-Zen, former television anchor Carrie Lake, and former member of the Arizona Board of Regents Karen Taylor Robeson. Earlier, we picked numbers.
How is this at like 300% and it's still quiet?
To determine the order of opening statements. Closing statements will again go in reverse order. We start with Scott Neely.
Hi, how you doing? My name's Scott Neely. I'm the candidate for Arizona governor you may not have heard of. I entered the race late on January the 19th because I had contractual obligations. I was busy finishing the cell phone tower contracts I had so that I could keep your news media here in this studio running on new technology. So anyway, I've been...
Oh shit, chat. The deep state planted him, okay? The deep state planted him. He's spreading the 5 Gs. And we all know what those G's stand for, don't we? Gangsters, gruel, goats, grant, and gumption. That's probably 5 things. That's right. 5 Gs will bring you at least one person named Grant to do your bidding. And goats are the devil's animal.
In business for 17 years. I'm the candidate who's actually been working on the border wall in multiple sections of the border wall. I've worked Yuma, Nogales, Douglas, Welton, Dateland, you name it. I've worked on that border wall for years. And when I become your next Arizona governor, I will be the guy that finishes the wall. I know where the steel is. It's sitting at Stinger Steel in Coolidge. And I'm willing to...
Chat. He knows where the steel is, but he just gave up the location. Everyone descend upon it and get your free steel now.
Jump in a semi-truck and drive that steel to the wall myself if that's what it takes to get the wall started again and get it done and finished. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. And now we turn to Paola Tuliani Zen.
Hello, I'm Paola Tuliani Zen. I'm an immigrant from Italy, so my name is Italian Zen. Why am I running for governor? Well, first of all, I want to thank you for giving me a seat at the table. How about that? I finally got a seat at the table. Why am I running for governor? Well, you look at what's happening to our...
What? Why weren't you getting a seat at the table? Were you walking into the Italian bistro saying "Bafagoo"? Were you walking into the local Italian eateries saying, "I want a slice of pizza"? Why were you at the table?
country, our government. And every time I looked at something, news, I would say, you know, I could fix this. Oh my God, what are they doing? Stupidity, inept. Or is it planned? So I said, you know what? I want to step in.
What?
I'm a business person and we need to run it like a business. Enough.
Why? Why would you want to run the government like a business? The government doesn't run at a profit. That's stupid as shit.
Enough. So that's why I'm running for governor. And it's time that people take a good look of who they're going to get as their governor.
All right, thank you very much. For our next opening statement, Carrie Lake.
Hello, Arizona. It's so good to be back in your homes. And thank you for welcoming us tonight. I had the blessing to cover this great state for 27 years as a fair journalist. I walked away from my career and the people of Arizona recruited me to be governor. And I'm running for governor now to fix some of the issues we've had. For those 27 years covering Arizona, we've had some of the same issues and they haven't been fixed. Under President Trump, who I'm so honored has endorsed me, we had the most secure border we've ever seen. On day one, President Joe Biden pulled back that policy and exposed us to a criminal element.
On day one, President Joseph Robinette Biden pulled out. Winks at camera.
To dangerous drugs that are killing our young people, and he's taken away our ability.
Wait, you sent me that last lady's. Okay, I guess I will open up Discord. Wait, oh, you didn't send it to me on Discord. You sent it to me on the thing, the Goobles. All right.
For governor, taking care of business.
I'm Paola Tuliani Zen, your candidate for governor. Our government is living high on the hog while Arizonans are struggling. I'm going to cut the fat off the government just like I cut the fat off my prosciutto.
I'm gonna cut the fat off this government. Just like how I cut the fat off of my husband when I made him walk off a long pier with a set of cement shoes.
I'm going to spend your money like it was my money.
Lady, I don't think, I don't know, given the interior decor of your house, I don't think that's a good idea.
It's a new day in Arizona. Paola Tuliani Zen for governor.
Yeah, this is just the Italian Paula Deen.
Paola Tuliani Zen.
That was great. Thank you.
To protect our own state. When I'm governor, we're going to come back and we're going to protect our border. We're going to secure our border and we're going to make sure that our kids are learning a decent curriculum and that they're also that they're also safe at school. I ask for your vote, and I look forward to the debate.
All right. Thank you very much. And for our final opening statement, we turn to Karen Taylor Robeson.
Hi, I'm running for governor because Arizona is under attack, from the cartels at our southern border to the liberals and Joe Biden in Washington, D.C. Arizonans are hurting from inflation.
Hi, we're under attack. I'm going to personally pull out my Glock 16 and mow them all down. That's what I do when I'm under attack.
We feel it every time we go to the grocery store
12 members of MS-13
and fill up our gas tank. And we are tired of our children being indoctrinated in our schools. I've lived my whole life in Arizona.
I'm tired of children being able to learn. It's bad. Keep your brains small.
I built my business, raised my family, and I've created jobs. I get results. We need a conservative fighter. We need a leader with a record of accomplishment, not a career talker with a teleprompter. My life is an open book. I worked for Ronald Reagan. I've supported pro-life causes. I've fought cancel culture.
I personally helped Ronald Reagan to forget about the HIV epidemic. Vote for me!
And I will defend the Second Amendment. These are serious times. We need a serious candidate with a record of accomplishment. I'm Karen Taylor Robeson, and I ask for your support.
Candidate, thank you very much. Let's get things started. Carrie, we'll start with you. Everyone here, actually, you want to succeed a Republican governor, 2 terms in office. How would you improve on the last 8 years?
I think Doug Ducey's done some great things. I mean, we've got a great economy right now, although we're slipping into a recession. Unfortunately, we had a business owner, I guess he was a CEO of an ice cream company, who came in, and we expected him to lead like a business owner. And unfortunately, during COVID, he shut our businesses down. He shut our church.
Yeah. Unfortunately, during COVID, he protected us from innumerable lawsuits that would have destroyed our companies.
Down, and he shut our schools down. And he put masks on our children, and I find that unacceptable.
Oh my God, he protected our children from dying to a plague that killed over 1 million Americans. The monster!
And so I would never shut your business down. You don't have to be a business owner or a CEO to know that you don't take somebody's livelihood away. When we needed a strong leader during COVID, I didn't see a strong leader in our governor's office, and unfortunately, people suffered because of that.
If there's a health pandemic and health officials are saying, for now, we need to have masks, we need to shut things down, you would say?
I think initially everybody was on board, 15 days to slow the spread. We were all very nervous about it. I was covering it. But eventually we realized that this is destroying our economy, hurting people, and we didn't need to have those masks.
It's true. This was destroying our economy. It was destroying all those poor, defenseless lives. I mean, it was hurting people. No, not the people who died. Not the 1 million+ people who died in America. The poor business owners.
We did not need to wear masks all the way into the summer. And there's other people here on this stage who on Board of Regents had an opportunity to vote our children out of those masks.
Wait a
so they
second,
didn't have
Ted,
to wear
that
the
is
masks.
a lie. Ted,
did not,
hold on.
that is a lie.
Arizona Board of Regents
Fake
record.
Lake.
Arizona Board of Regents.
Fake Lake, that's a lie.
Let her finish, and then you're going right to you.
Okay.
She misses all of the debates, and she now comes and wants to interrupt. I'm happy to talk, but I would like to...
Quickly, please.
There's been 9 that she hasn't showed up at.
When she has an opportunity to vote to get our kids out of masks and prevent them from getting the vaccines, 115 degrees.
Yes, we should have voted. We should have voted to prevent our kids from getting vaccinations. The things that are necessary to prevent major outbreaks of things like smallpox and the Black Death. Does anyone remember fucking polio? I do. I fucked polio all night long last night, and it was wonderful. I have an iron lung fetish, and I want more people to experience it.
Our college students had to wear masks because she sat the vote out, and she's a coward. And we need somebody who's strong.
All right, You're up.
Well, that is an absolute lie. Unlike Carrie Lake and Nancy
Wait a minute,
Pelosi,
you didn't
I
vote.
will
You gotta
not.
let her finish,
She
Carrie.
didn't
I
vote.
will
You gotta let
not
her finish.
vote on anything that I don't read. I won't. I am against.
And that means I won't vote on anything because I cannot read.
Against mask mandates and COVID vaccine mandates.
why
I have
didn't you
said
vote
that
to protect
all
our
along.
children?
Because I will not vote on anything that I have
It's
not
pretty
read.
obvious
think
that you
that the
don't want to.
governor-
Because I think she explained why she didn't vote on it. I think she's explained that.
Give 'em
Do you think
shots.
that the governor handled the COVID epidemic correctly?
Here.
You know,
Hold on, Paula.
in hindsight, when you see that he angered as many people on the left as the right, he probably got it just about right. And from an economic standpoint, Arizona's economy has come roaring back. That's why so many people are moving here. So we have recovered from the pandemic faster than most other states.
If
All
I'm
right,
going to be
Paula,
called Fake Lake, I'd like to
Okay, respond,
to
please,
that.
quickly.
First of all, you can go to my website.
The moderator's just like, fuck, why didn't we get the second moderator in here?
CarrieLake.com, and you can see exactly how Karen has voted. We
Absolutely.
put
Please
her
do.
Arizona Board of Regents.
Please do.
Her record there.
Okay.
She's voted pro-abortion.
That is not
She has
true.
voted. She's
That is
against the Second
absolutely
Amendment.
a
This
lie.
is right there in.
Those are issues we're going to get to those. I promise you.
but
are.
I'm not going to be called fake
Shut the fuck up. Please shut the fuck up.
if I'm telling the truth here.
All right.
Well,
so
truth
you've had
is
a
telling
chance
the
to-
truth.
you've had a
When,
chance
when
to-
she did not vote our
Fake
children
Lake.
out of
I
masks.
am 100%
Okay,
pro-life.
let's
I
hold-
always
hold
have
on with
been,
the
and I
fake
always
lake.
will be.
Hold on with the fake lake and hold on.
You
with
know
the
what? We
response to
do.
the
We
fake lake.
do need. She's right. We do need somebody who's a grown up, and somebody who calls names is not a grown up.
All right, Paula, I'm going to ask you. I think the original question was something along the lines of how would you improve in the last 8 years? How would you improve?
Oh man, this moderator looking hella frazzled, chat. Look
The
at
original
this guy.
question was something along the lines of how would you improve in the last 8 years?
This man hella frazzled.
How would you improve?
Ducey's improve. Yes, obviously I would not have shut down the businesses. And you know what? We all panicked the first 3-4 months, and we did what they told us to do. But you know, after that, when science comes out, we should have had a choice. And when you talk about masks on children, little
What science?
children, that's what I disagree with. You know, I'm not that much concerned about the kids going to college. They're going in air conditioning. All right? They have a car, they go to the building. The little kids are a problem.
What? Why would them having air conditioning matter? The air conditioning doesn't stop COVID. And the reason you want the kids masked is because the kids can then become vectors that infect the parents who have to go to work. It's fine.
We're keeping that bacteria right in their face. It went to an extreme.
That's not how it works, Paula. That's not how it works. If they're already infected, the bacteria being on the inside of the mask is the point. That's the entire point for it to be on the face. To keep it here and not spewing out on every rando they encounter.
And you know what? He should have how did you say, get rid of the mandate a lot sooner. He did it a few months ago. Why? Because he was backed up into a corner. That's why. Because we have health providers that don't want to go to work.
He didn't have the strength. He
Scott
didn't
needs
have
to
the
get into
strength.
this. Scott, please.
I'm in. So the question is, am I against mask mandates?
No,
or-
the question is how would you improve on the last 8 years? You're a Republican. He's a Republican.
So here's the thing. What he did was totally wrong. All he did was help the oligarchs. He helped Walmart, Amazon, Lowe's, Home Depot, and all the biggest companies to grow their businesses during a pandemic. Their stocks went through the roof. They made tons of money.
Think it was intentional?
It was intentional. Absolutely intentional. They closed my business down. But you know what? I didn't listen. I kept it open. I did what I wanted to do. I challenged the EPA to come in my business and shut me down, and they didn't come in. They didn't shut me down. You did.
Way to admit to crimes on television, my dude.
Didn't have to listen, people. You didn't have to listen.
Yeah, but you want to be governor of Arizona.
That's right. I didn't listen to laws. The EPA didn't do shit. Sure, I'm facing down $12 million in fines. But why does that matter? I'm invincible.
And you've got health experts telling you to do X,
Listen,
Y,
we don't mind the 14 days to slow the spread.
Y, and Z. Do you not follow the advice of experts?
You follow the advice of the 14 days to slow the spread. That I was on board with. But once we got past 14 days, and once I realized using these masks on a job site didn't even keep concrete dust or shotcrete dust out of my mask, how could it scientifically keep a small bacterial virus?
And we knew that.
Because the bacteria is in water droplets, because it's a respiratory illness. The mask catches the water droplets and prevents them from hitting other people, which then slows the spread and makes it less likely to communicate the disease. It's fine.
Out of my mask.
We
How?
knew that masks didn't work. There's
They don't work. They don't keep dust out. They're not going to keep a virus out.
And you're asking
that's
about what Governor
microscopic.
Ducey
It's fine.
should have done when he had a medical expert, the director of our health.
These people are both. These people are so stupid that they want you to die because they don't understand the problem.
Other experts as well, not just one.
He didn't have the backbone to do it.
Exactly.
Okay, that's it.
The other thing is, though,
hold on, Kate. Do you agree that the current governor didn't have the backbone to do what was best for Arizona?
That's right. It's all about
Absolutely.
money.
Hold on.
He had the, he had the
hold on.
backbone to do what was
Hold
good
on.
for the big businesses.
Hold on. Karen, do you believe he did not have the backbone?
We're all sitting here with the benefit of being a Monday morning quarterback. What I'm saying is Arizona's economy has come roaring back from the pandemic.
Actually,
No, it hasn't. You know what? When you're a billionaire, when you're a billionaire living in a mansion,
Did he just have to whistle?
You know what? When you're a billionaire, when you're a billionaire living in a mansion,
Who just whistled?
you know what? When you're a billionaire, when you're a billionaire living in a mansion, everything looks bright and shining.
Who did that was from someone off screen. Who the fuck whistled?
Good.
And it's nice that you're my neighbor, Carrie.
I live in a townhome. People have lost their businesses. They're never going to come back from that. They put their life savings into it. And we need somebody who knows the importance of that. I grew up the youngest of 9. I had to work for everything I ever had. I built my career to cover this state. And I understand the value of a dollar. I'm not somebody who just throws away money like my opponent who's throwing more money into this race for a vanity project.
Let's answer
hold on.
I want to get
This is a vanity.
I'm ready to fire.
We just heard
at
vanity
25
project.
cents an hour. That's when I got on the ladder.
All right. We
And
all
I have worked my entire life.
We all have a history. We all have had struggles, but now that's why we're running to be governor.
To
because
help
we
people.
all,
Right.
That's right. We know how to overcome obstacles, and we've
right.
done it, and we have won, and we need to win for Arizona.
Do you
Absolutely.
think, I'm going to ask a question individually, and hopefully we'll get complete answers
it's okay.
here. And we'll start with you, Paula, since
Yes.
you're anxious to talk here.
Right.
Do you think Republican voters look on the Ducey 8 years as a problem, as something that went wrong? What do Republican voters want from the next governor?
Well,
Something different?
First of all, we talk about transparency. Do we ever have it? We don't know. Everything's hidden. We've got to let people know what's happening in our government. We've got to move things a lot faster in our government.
I don't agree with an $18 billion budget. That thing's
Okay.
bloated.
Let me have my turn, please. Okay? $18 billion budget is right. That was not vetoed. How did we grow from $12 billion to $18 billion during these times?
The governor's office and supporters of the governor, and a lot of Republicans would say you got there because of growth policies put in place by the governor and the legislature. Are they wrong?
Well, what do you mean growth? From who?
Policy.
What the fuck is a growth? What the fuck is a growth policy? I'll show you a growth policy, and it's you give me your money right now, or I put a cap in your wife and child. How about that? I mean, you can edit that out, right?
Now they're spending money
they're
like
spending
drunken
money.
rhino sailors.
The more money you take, you have to spend it all.
Drunken rhino
Look, we're going to hit
sailors?
tough times. And we've got to see that. We've got a homeless problem. We have a lot of problems in the state.
Okay.
We've got to look at our
Can I
social
address
services.
the budget real quick?
Very
because
quickly,
it was a
please.
bipartisan budget, and there's a lot in there that people aren't happy about. We did get some good things in that budget. We got $50 million to secure our schools so our kids don't get shot.
We did get
needed that.
$544 million
Scott.
for the border wall, which
We
I
also
agree
got
with.
$1 billion
I agree with that a lot.
we also got $1 billion for roads and bridges. We need that. And when I'm governor, I'm going to make sure rural Arizona gets some of that money.
Yep.
We also got $500 million for a border wall, and I hope to put you to work building that wall.
Scott-
We're going to start it.
Yeah,
I might be
but the
putting you to
answer-
work to be able
The
to-
question, Scott, is this is a Republican primary, and folks voting in the Republican primary,
What-
are they going to want something radically different than what they've seen
Yeah,
in the past?
I'll tell you-
No, Paula,
Oh.
for the past 8 years, Scott. What do you
Yes,
think?
they want something radically
Yes.
different. You know what they want? Doug Ducey was an elitist, okay? He was an elitist. Okay, he's a wealthy man, an elitist. He's got a background. He's an elitist. He was installed as the CEO of Cold Stone, okay? No offense, but everybody on this stage is an elitist. What we need is a middle-class candidate for governor who has a street view of what's going on, not an elite view from an ivory tower. I'm sorry, but you all live in ivory towers. I don't.
Okay.
All right, Karen, I
really
need for you to
don't,
respond
actually.
to this. I mean, I'm hearing a Republican
something with
forum
that.
of people
Well, you've got a few million
not
in your war
happy
chest.
with
I
the
don't.
last 8 years of a Republican governor. What do you make of that? Do you agree with that?
What Arizona wants is opportunity. That means a low tax, low regulatory environment. And when I'm governor, that's what we will have.
Is
The
that what
elites
you
now
have
have-
not
we now
created a
have-
low tax,
we
low
now
regulatory
have-
environment
Scott,
for us
please.
people.
Please,
we
Scott.
now have the lowest
Scott,
flat
please
tax in
shut
the
the
nation,
fuck up.
courtesy of our Republican majorities in the House and Senate. We have the lowest flat tax in the nation. We have our regulatory environment. I would always push against the bureaucratic inertia of regulation. I would always push against that. And when I'm governor, we will.
You know what? I'm not convinced that these people actually know how companies work. I'm not convinced about that at all.
We will roll back regulations. We will get rid of regulations we don't need.
Which ones?
We've got any number. We can.
That flat tax is one layer of tax. We have so many layers of tax that
I
we don't
agree.
even know where they're all at.
I
I want to
agree.
get back
It's
to Karen.
unbelievable.
So your
What-
response is that you would not be radically different from what we've seen in the past 8 years. Different, yes. Radically different, no.
We are going to make Arizona the small business capital of this country, and
Is it-
that means we
okay,
have to
is
have
it
a
not a
low
small
tax.
business capital
okay,
now?
because she's
No.
okay with small businesses being shut down, as she just said.
I am a small business owner.
She's okay with.
I am
Actually,
a small
your
business
husband's a
owner.
billionaire. Ed Robson owns Robson Resort Communities.
That's right.
That is not a small business.
Okay.
Oh shit. I'm a small business owner and she's fucking married to a billionaire? That's wonderful. Holy shit.
First
I
of
have
all,
a
we're
small
talking.
business. I have.
Okay, everyone,
she's okay
hold
with
on.
How about
small
me?
businesses being shut down.
Everyone,
No,
hold on for
I
a
am
second.
not.
We encourage interjection
And I have never
interruption,
said
but
that.
we've got to have some semblance of order.
Roll back
Please.
the tape. She just said that.
Please.
I am a small business
I asked
owner,
you a question.
Oh my god, this moderator is like up to here. Holy shit.
But I
That's
didn't
not
get a
true.
response from you. Would you?
What do you mean
Scott,
that's not
please.
true?
You're not a small. You're worth
Scott,
millions of dollars. That's not a
Scott.
small business.
I have
It
a
doesn't
small.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
Like Trump said, do we want people in office that have not made money? Or do we want people that are broke? Are they going to make money for you?
I have had
Money
a
should not
30-year.
define how you
I have
lead
had a
the
30-year
people.
successful career.
No, you still need to.
As a working woman, I have built my businesses. I've created jobs. I've gotten results. That's what I've
done the same.
And
And
Scott,
I
I'm
will
going to
bring
ask
my
you not to
executive
interrupt for just 1 second.
experience.
I'm asking you the same question I asked before. Would you be radically different than the previous 8 years?
I will make sure that Arizona has a pro-business environment so that every Arizonan
Is
has the
that radically
opportunity.
different than what we've seen?
I don't believe it is.
He just wants them to answer the fucking question. I think he's only gotten through one question so far.
believe Arizonans
don't believe
want
it
an
is.
opportunity. Every single American, every
All
single
right.
Arizonan what's an opportunity to succeed, and that means getting government out of the way. That means having a low tax, low regulatory environment so anybody who wants to work hard can succeed.
Okay, panel, we're going to move on, and we're going to move on. This would be a beauty here.
Yeah.
Kerry, we'll start with you. You've called Joe Biden an illegitimate president. What does that mean?
He lost the election and he shouldn't be in the White House. We had a corrupt election. I'd actually like to ask everybody on this stage if they would agree we had a corrupt, stolen election. Raise your hand. Did we have? This is
I would like to. I'm not going to play your stunt.
Well, let me finish answering
night,
then. Finish answering.
Okay, instead of everyone raising,
you want to know why?
If everyone raising their hands, I want to know why you think that.
You know what? Let's just do this from now on. Every election cycle, just throw all of the candidates in a room, turn on the camera, and they have to like live in there for 24 hours. Okay. It's like a mini Big Brother. And then you watch them interact with each other and judge them accordingly, okay? I'm actually in favor of this. This has opened my eyes to a new form of politics.
That the election was either rigged, stolen, or whatever the phrase might be.
It was corrupt and stolen.
Corrupt and stolen, whatever.
I've looked at the evidence. We did a forensic audit.
Why have you looked at the evidence and the courts
turn it over to the authorities?
The courts haven't had a chance to look at the evidence because they haven't found sustainable and substantive.
Then turn it in. You should turn it in.
We have evidence. I know you.
Exactly. Then you have the evidence. Then turn it the fuck in.
I don't believe that our election was stolen, Karen.
I believe our election was absolutely not fair.
There's a reason that the people who want to...
I'll tell you why.
There's a reason that the people who want to see election integrity are endorsing it. I just got the endorsement of Dinesh D'Souza. I've got the endorsement...
Oh, God. She's more worm now than brain, twisted and evil.
Endorsement of all the America First people.
And I'm the only gubernatorial candidate who supports election integrity in the state of Arizona. I signed the election integrity at the election integrity declaration at the state capitol. I'm in support of HB 2289. I don't see anybody in here supporting it.
All right, I want to go back. I want to go back, Kerry. The governor, the attorney general, speaker of the House, the U.S. attorney general, none of these people agree with the U.S. attorney general, William Barr, who says he would vote for Donald Trump again. He says that the 2,000 Mules film shows nothing. There is no evidence.
Have you seen it?
It doesn't matter if I've seen it.
But I'm curious because it shows a lot.
William Barr, the Attorney General, says there's nothing there. At what point do you think Republican voters are going to say, let it go?
I think it's the number one issue. The reason that we have, and if I can finish, I would appreciate it. The reason that we have a border that is wide open.
Guys, this is at least twice as insane as that Wyoming debate we watched.
We have fentanyl pouring in, killing our young people. We have people pouring across the border. We have an invasion on our border. The reason we have children being smuggled and trafficked and adults being trafficked across this country. The reason we have inflation, sky high inflation, and can't afford our gasoline, can't afford our groceries, is because we had a rigged, stolen election.
Oh my God. These people all claim to be business owners who know how the economy works, and she does not. You did tell me, Paladin. I'm sorry I even doubted you for a second.
Facts are...
It gets better. I mean, I guess it could get better. We're only a third of the way through.
The forensic audit proves it. 740...
Dead dog, she can see you specifically. Don't move. Her sight is motion-based.
1,000 ballots that did not have a chain of custody, cannot be authenticated, and yet were counted. They should not have been counted.
Why can't that information be submitted as evidence?
It is,
in the court of
and
law?
our AG has the evidence. He's failing to act.
Why is he failing to do that?
I think because he thinks he can get away with it.
Why would he think that? Why would he think that?
Because we have a lot of people who are part of the corruption. They watched a corrupt election happen, and then they certified a corrupt election. And that's the problem.
You would not have certified our election?
No, I would not have.
Karen, would you have certified our election?
I didn't have the evidence in front of me. I'm a
course you
lawyer.
would.
I wouldn't act. It's like acting on a piece of legislation that I haven't read.
So-
I wasn't sitting there. I was not privy to the information.
She's
that the
a lawyer.
governor-
So
that
you-
the governor was submitted. But I'll tell you why I believe the elections weren't fair. When you look at what liberal judges did across this country to usher in new rules and new laws in the days and weeks and months before the election, you look at the media suppressing the news. I don't need to say anything more than Hunter Biden, or big tech suppressing or silencing conservative voices. And then Mark Zuckerberg, who spent $470 million in precincts across this country to increase voter turnout in heavily Democrat precincts, right? Including here in Arizona. All of those things together led to 78% of Arizona Republicans thinking something was wrong with the election. But I am focused on 2022 because the left is 10 steps ahead of us. And I don't have the time to explain what
The super left.
they're doing, what we know they're doing for 2022.
Okay, I heard
but
you say-
I
I
am
heard you
going
say-
to do everything I can to win this election so that Arizona is in
Right.
Republican hands for the 2024
I
election
heard
when
you
we
say
can
the
take
election
back
was
the White
unfair.
House.
It's different- it's
Unfair,
different.
but
Yes.
unfair is, hold on please, unfair is different than rigged, stolen, and illegitimate.
I am not going to be in the cul-de-sac that the left wants us to be.
Let's
They
call it-
want us to be on the
So you're
2020
not willing to
battlefield.
say that the
Biden-
election wasn't rigged?
I am willing
Listen,
to
there's
tell you.
election fraud
It's
on
very
many layers.
obvious.
Oh,
Let me
right,
just say something.
right.
It's very obvious that Karen is controlled by her consultants, high-paid McCain consultants. This election is about: are we going to go forward?
I am not
we the
controlled by
people in
anybody.
control of our destiny.
Well, that's
You
the
know,
whole.
this is-
that's
Listen,
the
we
whole
have
thing.
Are we going
election
to have
fraud
an
right now going on.
establishment?
You know,
Okay, go,
you know,
Paul,
you know,
Paul,
that's the
let's get Paula,
Yeah, you know
please.
what? We are beating a dead horse right now.
We're beating a dead horse, much like I used to do back in the day. Except back then we called them husbands. Hey!
We've got a lot to do. You know, we've got to protect this election. And what precautions have we taken to protect this?
We haven't
I know-
taken any.
You're right.
I know there's a lot of volunteers.
And it will never
Now,
happen.
HB
Wait, let me
2289.
finish.
Hold on, let her finish, please, Scott.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
Chad.
God, they talk over me, and I'm Italian. That shouldn't happen. You know
I'm
what?
Irish.
Okay. You know what? We should have worked this year to take precaution on what this new election and further. Okay. We haven't. We have volunteers that are going in. Why not get high-tech people that are going to be on the machines that are
This does give me Twitch panel vibes. It does. I'm having Vietnam flashbacks.
Republicans? A Democrat, Republican, get supervisors
That-
equal
That
amount.
happens. That we have
We-
parties looking over
That's
election
right.
results.
They're doing it now.
No, they're
They're actually
It's
telling
time to
people,
move on
Ted. You
from
don't even
the-
realize this.
He's just the moderator's just like no. They've been doing that the entire time. They've been doing that the entire time, guys. Come on, please. Please, I have a family. I want to keep this job.
They're telling
2020
people
election.
who are signing up to be election watchers, if you believe in election fraud, we don't want you in here. A lot of people believe in election fraud. They were down there at the forensic audit site. Can I
Believing
finish?
in election fraud
They
is
saw
one
it,
thing.
Ted.
But,
They saw
but
it.
believe,
They
if
saw it
they
with their
saw
own
it, they
eyes.
should have reported it, and there should be criminal prosecution. There hasn't been any.
100,000 hours of volunteer work at the forensic audit. People saw these ballots. They saw the problems. 34,000 ballots were counted.
Damn, that's crazy. Damn, bro, that's crazy. Then they should report it to the police or submit it to a court of law.
2, 3, and 4 times. We had major election fraud. 200,000 minimum ballots were trafficked by mules. This is why
But
people.
Carrie, you're part of the election fraud going on in the Republican primary as we speak right now. I mean, you're being propped up and supported by Kelly Ward and the AZ GOP. And during a primary, a GOP chair is not supposed to get behind one candidate.
I don't
but
think
she's
she
got
has.
behind you
No,
solely.
she hasn't.
Blake Masters.
she has.
Oh, yes, she
Kelly
has.
Cooper.
She has.
I have
She's
not
picked
had
her
Pam Curry.
America First award-winning team, Abe Hamadeh.
I am
and
America
whether they're
First.
Good,
You're
and whether
right.
they're
You're
good
right.
candidates or not, you cannot legally, as an AZ GOP chair, get behind your favorite candidates for office. Even Ronna McDaniel said that. You can't do that. It's not legal.
I have not received her endorsement. I thank you. I
Well,
am
you wouldn't.
America
With
First,
you,
and I'm
you
the
know-
only.
Oh my god, they are children. How can anyone vote for any of these people?
Only
Tweet your
America
stuff.
First candidate
Pam
up
Kirby
here.
is at your press conferences.
Listen, I have
You're
a
not pretty
lawsuit going
obvious.
against Kelly Ward and the AZ GOP because of what she's doing.
Well, that's between you and the AZGOP.
Last question on this.
She acts like she's your campaign
but if you're
manager.
gonna fight,
Ted, I think you've lost control.
Election integrity, you have
you
to
guys can discuss. I'm going to ask over here. Last question here.
What?
Do you think Republican voters want to go once again over all of these things between mules and this
No, they
rumors
don't.
and
They
innuendo?
don't.
Do they
You know
want
what they
this?
want?
No,
An honest election.
May I finish? Mamma mia. You know what? We've got to.
She said the thing, chat. She said the thing.
To get on with it. We've got a lot
Here
of
we go again.
problems coming our way. Inflation, number one.
Okay.
The border. We have a lot, and we're still stuck on this, and we have done nothing about it. You know what?
All right, Karen, I'm
Don't
going to
worry,
move
we're
because I want
going
to
to
move on
fix it,
to
and we're going to do
Karen,
something about it when I'm
do
governor.
Republican voters want to hear more about the 2020 election?
Republican voters now are worried about putting food on their table and gas in their gas tank. They're worried about the border. They're worried about safety and security. That's what I hear from voters
Okay, so
all across
stop
this.
the emphasis on 2020.
We need to win in 2022.
Yeah, stop talking about
Scott,
it.
stop the emphasis on 2020. What do you think? Is that what
about we talk
Republican
about-
voters want?
How about we talk about solutions for our own state going forward?
For our
How about we do
businesses.
that?
Lack of
Thank you, Scott.
One
I
of
appreciate
the-
your help. I'm asking you a question. Do Republican voters want to go over 2020 again?
I think most people want to move forward.
Gary?
I think most people want election integrity and election honesty, and they
What
want
does
to
it
make sure.
mean? What does it mean?
Like I said,
Nothing
we're
has
not
been
having
done.
election integrity
Well,
in
you
the
can
middle of
keep
this
talking
AZ
about it, but
GOP
you
primary
have
as
to
it goes.
Go
So
forward with
what
the
integrity?
issues that we
I
have
feel
in our
like I'm on
state.
an SNL skit here. Are
You
we
know
going
what?
to take control of the debate?
We
Ted,
are
or do you want me
taking
to do it?
no, Carrie. I don't want.
Oh my god. Yo, it's not made better when you turn to the moderator and say that you want to take control over the debate. Holy shit. No, you know what? No wonder Republicans tend to lean towards fascism. They literally can't get anything done unless one of them takes charge.
I'm
try
happy to do
take
it.
I know you would be happy
Okay.
to do it.
listen, I haven't been on a stage with this many women since I've been to a baby shower. It's been a while.
Bruh, why you being that weird champ? Why you being that weird champ, bruh? What the fuck?
Well, I don't know how that's going to go over, Scott, but we'll let that hang. Let's talk about.
What?
I think
Last-
people want election honesty. They
All
want
right, are you
honesty
going
in their
to
election.
accept the election results? Do you think election security in Arizona is such that
We
you
don't have
trust?
election security.
So why keep
So
talking
do you
about
trust
it?
the
so we can
results
We're
of the
going
election?
to work with the legislature to make sure we have rules in
That's
place
not an
and
answer to
laws
my
in place.
question. Scott,
interesting.
are you going to accept the results of this election if you think there's so much fraud that it can't be trusted?
Are you talking about the primary I'm currently
I'm
in?
talking about the primary.
The one we're in now.
Yes.
We're going to see what happens, but I personally don't believe.
Do you think Republican voters want a candidate who doesn't even believe in the vote?
I don't believe this primary has been fair. I can tell you that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have launched the lawsuit.
Kerry, do you think Republican voters
That's right, I believe in the effectiveness and sanctity of democracy, but also, there shouldn't be any.
want a candidate who doesn't believe in the integrity of the election right now?
I think they want someone who's going to do something with our elections to make sure they're fair. And we don't have fair elections, you're right, but we're going to show up and vote in droves. We have a movement. Our campaign is a movement. We're going to show up and vote in droves. They're going to have to cheat even harder in order to try to win this.
Your
So I think-
campaign's a psyop.
Paula,
What the?
do you think that you will accept the results of an election if election security is not what you think it should be, if you believe all of these conspiracy theories?
Well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe in that. You know, I want to see the proof. I want definitive proof of everything. And then I analyze it, and then I'm going to make my own decision. And I think that's what we have to tell the people. You know, we do protect as much as we can pre-election and during our election. And if we believe there's fraud, it should have been handled in the very beginning. When he hung up the phone at Trump, and people are dissatisfied, it should have been handled immediately, not a year later. And it goes on, and we're spending millions of dollars, and we don't
Gotcha.
have.
Karen, will you accept the results? And do you trust election systems in Arizona to be secure?
I will accept the results, and I will work tirelessly when I'm governor to make sure penalties for ballot harvesting are sufficient to prevent it, that we have requirements for voter IDs sufficiently, and that we clean up the voter rolls. That we have uniform requirements to clean up voter rolls so that we're not sending ballots to dead people or people who have moved.
But we have
and
all
these
those
are things
rules
we
on the
have
books, so
to
they're
do
not being
each
enforced. They're not being enforced.
Listen, we're voting for
And we will.
27 days in Arizona. This is ridiculous.
Each and every year, we have to do what we can to continue to make it easier to vote and harder to cheat. It's not something we fix and then it's done. We have to be diligent every single cycle and continue to improve our process.
There's a reason
please.
that I have the America First movement behind me, and I have people who understand voting integrity and election integrity, because when they hear somebody who's trying to buy this election call our last election unfair, it was more than unfair. You just have to look at the evidence. And some people aren't willing to look at it.
Carrie, you're buying the election with free media all the time.
Okay, we are going to move on. Carrie, we'll start with you. How do we ensure that Arizona schools have quality teachers, keep quality teachers? How can we make this known as the education state?
We just put a lot of money into education with this last budget. I think it's a good thing that we are putting money into our education. I have a public school teacher who's very near and dear to my heart. Probably the most important person in my world was my father. He was a public school teacher. He taught history. He taught government. And he was a football coach. If you look at our teachers and you look at their salary since 1970, adjusted for inflation before Joe Biden's hyperinflation, they're flat. They keep using these teachers as political pawns.
Yeah, I wonder why teacher wages are flat. You know, it's really interesting that school funding and teacher salaries are directly tied to property taxes. And when budgets need to be balanced in states primarily have a lot of sway over property taxes. And it's also really interesting that Republicans constantly defund school districts and don't try to secure additional funding sources for their schools. Why are our teachers underpaid? Asks person who is going to cut teacher pay.
And they never give them the money they deserve. You keep quality teachers by paying good teachers more money. Can I finish, please?
We've got to have a solution, okay?
And the problem is they're putting all the money into administrators. Administrators, their salaries have jumped. I don't think any administrator should make more than a teacher in the classroom. And if I may finish,
yes.
And if we get our curriculum turned around so we're not teaching nonsense, teachers will want to stay and teach.
How do we make sure that
teachers actually are the ones who are burdened with shifting out all of the nonsense you fucks put into curriculums?
That education in Arizona improves. That
are you looking at me?
No, I'm not looking at you, Paula. How do we make sure that education improves and that, again, Arizona can be known as an education state?
Absolutely. We have been an
you silly goose.
education innovator. And when I'm governor, the money follows the kid into the classroom, and our legislature just took a huge step towards that. We're going to put the money in the classroom, and it will filter up to the administration. Instead of going through the administration.
When she was at ASU, she was pushing for CRT. Oh my yes,
God.
you did.
Are you kidding?
The same day that you didn't. No, we have it on our website. The same time that you refused to vote our kids out of masks, you voted for a CRT.
Go ahead.
I had a 2-year battle with the leftists.
You wanted our kids learning about African American history?
Garbage. Pure, undiluted garbage, meaningless, drivel, nonsense. That's all they were. Junk. And when I thought, this is what these kids in this preschool are seeing.
In our universities to get American history and American government required as general education in order to graduate
Then
from
why
our
did you vote
university.
for a CRT
it was
type
a
of training for
two-year
our
battle.
students? Then
we
why
now
did you
have
do that,
American
Karen?
history and American government
It
required
was
to
under her
graduate from
tutelage
Arizona
at the Board of
University.
Regents that Arizona
You know,
State University became woke.
after-
under her tutelage.
after
Okay, how do you
27
respond
years.
to that? How do you respond to what she just said?
Well, how does she respond
It's
to
right
what
there
I did?
in her Board of Regents voting
You
record.
can go
It's
to my
right
record.
there.
She is a master at fake news. 27 years in the liberal media. She learned to twist the truth.
No.
She was
Out
just
and out lies.
fundraising at
That's
Laguna
not true.
Beach.
Right.
She was
That's not
literally just in California
You know what?
fundraising
Okay,
last week. And
Scott,
she
was-
canceled
I've
two
been-
events
I've
here to
been-
fundraise
Hold
at
on, Scott,
Laguna
please.
Beach.
I've
it's
been
not
an
the question.
honest.
This entire thing feels like this, okay?
This alpha predator of yours, Doctor. Do you really think he has a chance?
The arrogance of man is thinking nature is in our control, and not the other way around. Let them fight.
Lol.
Honest journalist my whole life. That's why the people of Arizona
Aw, clean up, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
asked me to run for office.
And we're
what
going
I
to try
see
and
as
keep.
fake
We're going to
news
try.
right
We're
now.
going to try and keep, as per your request, trying to get more control over this. So we're going to get back to education and power.
Well, I don't think any
as
of us have
far
been able
as
to finish a
education
sentence.
Can
is
I be
concerned.
uninterrupted this time?
We'll
Please,
see.
give
We'll
me
see, Paula.
Give me a minute or two. All right. What is the question again?
Education in Arizona. How do we improve it? How do we keep
Well,
teachers?
well,
How do we keep other states from poaching our teachers?
That's right.
Oh,
You know what?
God.
Vouchers are good. Look, my grandchildren have gone to private, Catholic. Now they're in Catholic. They've gone to public. We've experienced it all. Okay. We have a right, of course, we can afford it, but not every family can. So we're not going to abandon the public schools. But what's going to happen, just like business, competition is going to create a better business. It's going to create better schools, better education. And another thing, we have to go. I'm sorry, am I
I was gonna
interrupting?
ask you
We're
about-
leading
I was
the
gonna ask you
way
about
in
ESAs and
education
vouchers. Do
freedom.
you think those help public schools in Arizona?
Well, first of all, public schools are still going to exist. Certain people, how many people can drive their children? My daughter drives her children 20 miles every morning and every afternoon.
But Ted, our money,
No,
our education money does not
Yeah, then that's what school buses are for, lady.
belong to any particular school. It belongs to the children.
It belongs to
the
the
money we
parents.
spend in education belongs to the student.
I agree.
And we're
That's
going to be
what's
able
happening.
to follow that money. The money
And
follows
that's what
the
I'm
student
saying.
now.
It belongs. They have the decision if they want to move their child out of school. You know, my son went to a terrible public school. The teacher was abusive. I just went there and just pulled him out. She would call him stupid in class. And I'm telling you, if you meet my son, he's a star. You know what? I pulled him out.
Yeah, I'm sure this lady's raised a lot of real eggheads.
I sent him to private school. You know, he had confidence, he excelled, and you have a right as a parent to take that child and put him where
now
you
you
want.
Real
can,
quickly,
and now
what
you
about
can.
those who
Good night,
can't afford to
Paladin
put their kids in
Laws.
private
Thank you
schools?
for
Vouchers
stopping
and
by.
ESAs
But I
included.
agree. I don't want to abandon the
Appreciate
public
you.
schools. I believe we need to help them. We can't afford to have children that fail in 8th grade and put them out in our society.
We're not
Scott,
abandoning them.
Scott, get in on
Yes.
this. Education, please.
Education. Here's the solution. And here's what most people don't realize and most people don't know. In schools right now, for example, my sons who just graduated from Mesa High School about a month ago, I had found out and discovered recently that they have 5 vice principals. They have a department head for science and math and PE, physical education, you name it. Every department has a department head. They've got 8 academic counselors, 4 guidance counselors. It's all overbloated on the top. They're building a 3-story office because they're probably going to add a 6th vice principal.
Yeah, how many kids go to your kid's school? Huh?
Mountain View High School in Mesa has 6 vice principals. I can only imagine the school district levels what they're doing. with all the extra vice,
Yeah, but
you know.
may I
With
say some-
competition, that'll have to change because they'll realize that that's not going to work anymore for the student. They'll start losing
What we
students.
need
You know
to
what,
do
first
is
of all,
fire some of these administrators,
I'm gonna-
and we need to take that
Okay.
money and apply
I'm
it
going
to
to tell you
new
one
teacher
thing.
jobs and
An
teacher
audit has
raises.
never been done in education. It has never been done. And you know, when I'm governor, if God willing I'm there, first thing we're going to do an audit on
We
education.
don't need an audit. I just told you what's happening.
Yeah, but you do need numbers. Numbers are the proof, and then we get everything
We
in
need to
line.
know the numbers of how many administrators we're going to get rid of. You're right.
All right, Karen, as far as ESA voucher program, it was greatly expanded by this legislature, greatly over, some would argue, the will of the public, which greatly
Yes.
asked, don't do this a few years ago. Was that a wise thing to do? Would you sign something like that?
Yes, I have always been an advocate of school choice. We have a system right now designed for the adults and not the kids. When I'm governor, we will have an education system designed for the kids, and we will pay our good teachers like we want to keep them.
As far as vouchers are concerned, though, how do you tell a kid from a low-income family that to go into Brophy or some of these other expensive
You're
schools,
right.
even with vouchers, you still can't pay for that? You still can't.
But there will be many options, and as it relates to transportation, there are great.
There will be many options. If they can't pay, there will be many options for them to not pay.
Pilot programs out there that we will scale and expand so people can get to the school that they want
How
to.
are you going to expand transportation
can't. That's
if
the
we're
problem.
stealing from the
They
HER
are.
fund?
No.
We are stealing money from the HER fund. We're putting it in the general fund. We're giving more to the
swept it in
administrators in
2008.
education. We're not raising the teacher pay. We're not hiring more
we
teachers.
we need to raise the teacher pay.
And
If
we need to
did,
stop
we
stealing
wouldn't
money
have-
We
on
all
the HER fund
agree
because
teacher
our
pay
roads and
needs to be
bridges are
increased.
decaying.
Do we
Yes.
agree with
Yes.
that?
Yes.
And I
we
want to
do.
see administrators'
Yes, we
pay
do.
go down. We need fewer administrators. They shouldn't be making more than teachers in the classroom, expt perhaps the principal.
Well,
I
here's
think
the
we
thing.
can
The
agree on that.
principal's
And then
got to take more responsibility. He's the manager of the school.
That's
we
right.
can eliminate
Absolutely.
a lot of layers if that manager took care of his school, and we don't give him enough.
Yeah, these specialized fucks, these specialized pricks don't do anything. Guidance counselor? Teachers can do that. Principal can do that. What, you got a school full of like 5,000 kids? Go fuck yourself.
Responsibility.
But it's a good old boy club, and they're giving their friends
right.
jobs.
All right. Okay, we got you. I want to
got
move
it?
on. We're moving.
You got
Yeah,
it?
I got it. We're
You got
moving
it?
on, Paula. Thank you. We'll start with you, Paula. What the heck? I'm looking at you this time. Arizona, $1 billion budgeted for water. How do you spend that? How do you best spend that?
Well, you know, I've been in so many meetings for water. We're all over the place. Desalinization, groundwater,
That's definitely what it's called, desalinization.
wells, taking water from Missouri. Okay, the Midwest, take it from Mississippi, which is garbage. Okay.
Yeah. We'll just take the water from other places, you know? These other places, I'm sure will have no problem with giving us all of their water, okay? Because if they don't play ball, I'm gonna walk them off the end of my pier with a pair of cement shoes.
Got it all over the place. I think get everybody at the table. First of all, the money that's allocated, what was it for? Desalinization. I don't
That's definitely what it's called, desalinization.
know enough about it. What is the cost to the end user for desalinizing? How much water can we produce? Where is it coming from? We don't.
It's coming from the... Oh my god, lady, it's coming from the ocean. It's desalination. You're taking the salt out of the salt water. That's what desalination is. And you can actually solve a lot of problems that way, but it requires large and expensive facilities to be built.
don't have those answers. Okay, we give over $1 billion to research that.
Well, we're not giving $1 billion to desalination.
Well, it's allocated.
So
It's allocated.
It's in
Okay.
the
You know what?
budget.
I'm glad we're
How do you-
talking about this because before I got into the race, nobody wanted to talk about it. I've been covering Arizona for 27 years and hearing about our water issues. No one's taken the big, bold moves. We need every idea that's out there. We need to explore every idea from desal of our brackish underground water. We have a lot
That
of
was
water.
my idea, by the way.
You know what? That's what I've been
From-
saying.
Can I
You're
finish?
repeating.
Hold
No,
on,
you're
hold on,
repeating
Paula.
what I'm saying.
Hold on, Paula.
Here, you always
If-
repeat that.
Paula, please.
First of all, put everything.
Paula,
I feel like
What?
this is a
Please.
spoof, honestly.
Go ahead. Finish what you were saying, please.
Oh,
Is
God.
this a spoof, Ted?
No, it's not. Finish what
Are
you're
you
saying.
sure?
Yes, I am.
Wow. Okay. We need to explore every single option on the table. And I think we need to look at piping water. water in from the Missouri River Basin, Mississippi River Basin.
That's unrealistic.
Good luck. Good fucking luck, lady.
Groundwater pumping from rural areas.
We've
should
got
that
the way
continue unchecked?
No, it shouldn't continue unchecked. But one thing we can't do, we've got a water situation and we cannot regulate ourselves out of a drought. And we can't.
Yeah. The regulations aren't going to magically bring water in. That's true. But the regulations can help stop the wasting of water and buy you more time to find more secure sources of water. Like, say, building a massive desalination project, or, waiting for it to rain, or some shit. I don't know. I'm not a water expert, but the policies can help a lot.
Cannot continue to give the ag community the short end of the stick. Whenever things get tough, we end up taking from them. And we're going to end up with a food crisis before we have a water crisis.
That's already coming.
If we don't
Scott, all right, Scott, you're busting to get in here. Water policy, $1 billion. How do you spend it?
$1 billion. Okay, first of all, I don't do what Kerry Lake's been talking about for months and Doug Ducey's been talking about for months, which is to build a desalination plant in Mexico on the Sea of Cortez and then pipe clean water into Arizona. We don't do that. What we do is we take our current desalination plant that was built in 1992 that's sitting in Yuma, Arizona. It was built by the Army Corps of Engineers back in 92. We can pipe the water in from Mexico. There's no problem with that. We can desal it in Arizona, creating Arizona jobs, not Mexican jobs. We can take the brine from the desal. We can use that brine to create micronuclear systems.
And how much is all this going to cost?
Micronuclear, we can do a micronuclear system.
No, everything you just said. How much is that going to cost?
Everything that, probably in the ballpark, the micronuclear is going to be probably $1 billion. The desal plant's probably going to be $1 billion. It's probably going to be about $2 billion.
Okay. Karen, as far as water is concerned in Arizona, the money is now, attention is now there. What do we do?
I'm the only candidate in this race that has nearly 30 years of experience in natural resource management, including water issues. Every option has to be looked at. Every option. That money is going to be used largely for financing various projects. And so we have the benefit of technology. We need to try desal. We need to try cloud seeding. We need to eliminate the salt
cloud
seeders.
Seeding's real? I was wondered about that.
It absolutely is. We need to eliminate the salt seeders that are sucking up 55,000 acre feet of water a year. We need to do a better job of conservation and efficiencies. And with technology, we can. We can, but we have a sustaining drought and we have a growing population. So this is going to take multiple solutions, and being able to get everybody together, whether it's rural, whether it's ag, whether it's urban, get them together to forge solutions. It's a complex problem. And so as governor, I will bring everybody together to the table to figure it out.
I think
we need to
all
bring our federal delegation, our congressmen and senators, get them on the same page. Last I heard, every Democrat and Republican and independent drinks water. And we need to send them to DC and say we need federal cooperation. We don't want this to get into crisis mode. We want to solve this problem before it gets there. And Arizona is growing. As these blue states continue to push policies that are destructive and driving people out, more people are moving to Arizona, and that's not going to change.
How much should water be a part of growth in Arizona, impacting growth in Arizona? Water concerns.
Water's the number one.
Scott, I'm asking Kerry, how much of a concern should growth be as far as future plans are concerned?
Well, I mean, we've got to have water. And I think actually our growth is going to spur the need to really push this quickly. We don't need to drag our feet on this. We need to push it quickly.
Okay, big developments in Buckeye, big developments in Benson, these kinds of things. Are these things we should take a second look at because of water concerns?
Yes. I don't think so. I think the development that we have going, we should continue with.
Now, here's my thing. Okay?
Please.
Okay, we've got thousands and thousands of apartments. They get a 100-year certificate. I want to know, how are they getting this 100-year certificate and they just keep booming? And you're right, the development is just exploding.
So keep developments in mind when water policy, as far as future growth is concerned.
Well, they should.
Wait, they're supposed to. Karen?
I would agree. Growth and development needs to pay for itself, and they largely do. Major master plan communities have to have the assured water supply. They have to get the certificate before they can sign a final plat. They have to build the roads, their water treatment facilities. They have to build effluent lines. They need to pay their way.
But is that paradigm, that schematic, changing with the drought? We don't have the kind of water we thought we would.
Well, then then you can't develop because you can't get a plat approved.
Okay.
But they are developing. You see, there's
cannot,
nothing stopping. Yeah. Tell me that 3,000 apartments in those.
There's a shared water supply, Paula. You can develop.
Yeah.
The question is, should that assured water supply, should the equation be changed with the drought? So, and you're saying yes. Okay, we got you. It's just
why keep going?
Yes.
I mean, are they telling us the truth?
Yeah.
Maybe we don't have the truth.
Carrie, we'll start with you.
Yes. The nefarious government is lying about the global water shortages.
You on this one? The new law banning abortion. Well, the new law banning abortion in Arizona after 15 weeks. There's that law, and there's a territorial era law which bans all abortion. Zippo over. Which law do you think should take effect?
My personal belief is that all life matters, all life counts, and all life is precious, and I don't believe in abortion. I think the older law is going to go into effect. That's what I believe will happen.
Okay, but you approve of that? What at conception?
I believe life begins at conception.
Okay, what do we do about abortion pills? What do we do about?
I don't think abortion pills should be legal. That's
not in Arizona. Karen, what do you think?
I agree.
You agree?
I agree. I am 100% pro-life. I always have been.
Unfortunately, her voting record doesn't show that.
That is
the Arizona Board of Regents. May I tell them what happened at the Board of Regents?
You know what? Let me tell them what happened.
Let her finish, and then we'll get back to you.
I really would like to know.
She continues to distort the record.
Because this is a fact.
A bill came to the Board of Regents in February, signed by the governor at the end of the session after changes were made to the bill that we raised that could have cost Arizona taxpayers billions of dollars. And if that piece of legislation landed on my desk, as it did, I would have signed it. I would have signed it in a second.
She voted to use taxpayer money to hire a lobbyist to go down to the Capitol and work to kill one of the most important piece of pro-life legislation that we had. Senator Nancy Bartow was behind that. She's one of our great stalwarts,
and she made the amendment.
Endorsed me.
She made the amendment to eliminate the contractual liability issue that we raised. She made the amendment to deal with the contractual liability issue that we raised.
And there's a reason she's endorsing me, because you tried to get that piece of legislation killed. And that
she's a master at like I said, fake news, twisting the record. And you know what? If
the record is right there at
understood the process,
you can
she's
see
either
how
lying
she voted.
or she doesn't understand the process. Take your pick.
Let's talk about solutions rather than fight.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott. Why don't we talk about your ideas regarding abortion, the 15-week ban or the territorial?
Listen, this is how
ban?
I see life. Okay, and I'm glad life won. Okay, Roe versus Wade was overturned. Life won. Life won. Thank God. But the way I see life is this. If we were exploring other planets and other solar systems, and say on Mars we actually found a clump of cells, let's call it life, right? Wouldn't we do, whether we're Republicans or Democrats or whoever, man or woman, wouldn't we do everything we could to protect that life? Because it's new life.
No. What? This isn't a comparable scenario. Okay, you know what? Let's make this scenario comparable. Okay, what if some human explorers went on a new planet and a tiny clump of alien cells, new life, burrowed its way into a researcher's chest cavity, say, and then I don't know, after a certain amount of time, just burst forth from the body. Would we be arguing of the sanctity of its life? No, we would fucking kill like every single one of those things. Okay? The fact that we tolerate blasting like children out of our bodies is insane. If that was done by any other type of organism, we would eradicate it. If other organisms did that to us, we would kill them all. And to be fair, we've done we took a lot of pretty good shots at trying to kill all of our all humans. So, and the nuclear war is still hanging over our heads. So fingers crossed, I guess.
Well, why can't we treat human life in the same way that we would treat alien life that we discovered on an alien planet.
How would you handle mayors from big cities like, say, Phoenix and Tucson, who say that they will not put an emphasis on going after doctors who perform abortions, early abortions, prior to 15-week abortions?
Well, we can withhold funding to them cities, those mayors.
Paula, what do you think of this?
Yeah. Well, I'm pro-life from conception to death. And I believe...
No exceptions for rape or incest?
Well, that's a gray area. I don't know. That's a personal decision for a person. I do believe that. And, I'm giving you my personal input. And I believe when government gets involved and says, hey, it's a way of birth control. No, it's not. It's not a way of...
Yeah, it is.
Birth control. All right? The problem is even those people rioting, who are they? They're angry. You know what? All of them have had abortions. They want the...
What? Yes. Only the post-abortion people are in the streets.
Government to authorize what they have done. All right, so that's the problem.
Abortion has killed 63 million babies.
I know.
And I don't think anybody's okay with that. Is life sacred or is it not?
None of these people give a shit. None of these people actually give a shit. Like, oh, so you're saying, okay, you're gonna say that abortions killed 63 million babies. So, you saying it's worse than 10 Holocausts? Like, if you really thought that, you should be out, like, bombing Planned Parenthood. Like, holy shit, there would be nothing off the table for you. But these people don't actually believe things like that. They don't actually believe that they're living in a country where an ongoing Holocaust has killed 63 million people. Taylor Latte Boy, I'm indeed. Also, thank you for the 100 biddies. I appreciate it. Who's raid, Taylor?
If governor, let's say that the territorial ban somehow is approved and there is no abortion, it's over. Would you?
Bagel Rabbit, hello.
You push to increase foster care services,
Absolutely.
Other safety net services?
It
costs money.
Are you asking me or Paula?
I'm asking you.
Yeah, but you're always
Paula,
interrupting
please,
me. She's
good
always
Lord.
interrupting
Paula.
me, and you're allowing it.
I'll let
Paula,
Paula answer if she wants.
No, I will answer.
No, we're asking you the question. Will social services and foster
the
care
worst
services...
part, one of the worst things about abortion and the way it has been played out for the past 50 years wrongfully is that a woman who's afraid and pregnant walks into a Planned Parenthood and they're given one option, the absolute worst option. They're not told that they can be the mother God envisioned them being. They're not told that there's help. They're not told that there is adoption help if they want to put their baby up for adoption. They're only given the worst option. I have a friend who had an abortion. When she was 30 years, 15 years later, when she was 30, she found out she could never...
Oh, no. Taylor Latte Boy, this is 100% real. It is very incredible.
Conceive. They cut her cervix. She was never able to be that mother. And it's a scar that never goes away.
So you would
women.
improve social safety net and...
Absolutely.
Well, okay, would you do that, Paula?
No, I would start here first. You talk about a scar, the scar on the girl's life that she doesn't realize when she makes that decision that haunts her for years. I met with someone 47 years old, and she brought it up, and she says, this has haunted me all my life. We never talk about what it does to a woman. All right?
Will you support state funding?
Yeah. No, descriptivist, it is depressing in some senses, but you know what? I'm deriving a lot of joy from watching these absolute insane freaks like debate each other and just like fight, again, it's just like the joy of watching like a kaiju movie, It's just like, I love these movies so much.
For social safety nets and all these sorts of services that will be needed if abortion is further restricted in Arizona.
Safety nets, what? Supporting the child, not
All
planned.
sorts of services.
Yes, I do. There's a lot of great services out there.
Okay, Karen, I mean, are you ready to spend the money that will no doubt be needed if abortion, territorial or 15-week ban, either one, if that becomes law?
Absolutely. Abortion is evidence that we have failed women. I will do something similar to what they did in Texas.
Bullshit.
$100 million to the Alternatives to Abortion Act. I have always been pro-life, 100%. And I think that we have to protect and take care of the woman as much as we take care of and be concerned
Ready to
about.
spend money on that?
Absolutely. And I also think it's quite interesting that Carrie Lake, who knocked on doors for Barack Obama,
That's
the
absolutely
most pro-abortion president of our
me
time,
of lying.
She's decided
You
about
donated to Barack Obama twice.
You know what?
And she
this
walked
one is
doors.
I've got the FBC filing.
And
right.
this
She
one
walked
has
doors for Barack
donated
Obama.
tens of thousands of dollars
So she
to the
immediately
most
switched
liberal
her position when she
candidate.
decided to become
Okay, hold on, everyone, please.
This moderator is just wishing he had a gun.
Gary, respond, please.
First of all, when I talk about Karen's record, it's fact. It's from the Arizona Board of
And it's
Regents,
wrong.
her voting record.
You are
and you can
wrong.
go to carrielake.com and show that.
Right.
She's spending millions of dollars,
and
more
you
than
can go to
any.
lakisfake.com to see about her donations.
Real quickly,
May I finish?
before we get done, you did change. You did change your political affiliation, your thoughts, and your ideas. Why is that a bad thing, Karen? I mean, Ronald Reagan changed. He was a Democrat. Donald Trump changed. He was a Democrat.
Ronald Reagan.
She doesn't want
I
people
worked
who
for
change.
Ronald
Please
Reagan.
let Karen
She's
respond.
no Ronald Reagan. She was.
But people
he was.
change.
You know what? She found God, guns, in the GOP about a day and a half before she decided to run for governor.
And it
She
says it on our
supported-
website.
Okay, Carrie,
she
I want to
supported
get back
Barack
to you, Carrie.
Obama, and she can't. She can't
Some would
deny
say
that.
some would say that the ability to change is a good thing. Some would also say that the ability to change is not such a good thing in a position of leadership. How would you
We're in
respond
an
to that?
amazing spot right now where people are waking up to the lies of the Democrat Party by the droves. Literally, we had somebody come into our office and wanted to register to vote as a Republican. He'd been a Democrat his whole life. So people are waking up, and if Karen doesn't want those voters, I do. If you're waking up to the lies of the
We had one person come in, which is indicative of the fact that there are a lot of people out there doing it.
Democrat Party, we want you in the party that has ideas that work, the party of common sense. It was 10 million Obama voters who crossed over and gave us President Donald J. Trump. President Trump donated to Hillary Clinton before. He was a Democrat before, as was Ronald Reagan. I'd rather be with Ronald Reagan, President Trump, and Carrie Lake than Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney, and John McCain, who are all of the same cloth, cut from the same cloth as Karen.
You got 30 seconds, Scott.
Sure.
You get the last word on this.
Sounds great.
It's just so fucking surreal to hear people talk about John McCain like he was some kind of like far left like psyop. It's wild to me.
Idea of changing as a leader, as an executive, is that such a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing if you're honest about it. For example, you know, the whole drag queen debacle with her and her drag queen friends and whatnot. She's not being honest about it.
To this.
She's not being honest about it, and now she's suing the drag queen. I mean, the drag queen's got evidence. She
Are you
hung
not
out in drag
okay,
bars.
Scott?
I mean,
You opened up a can of words. I gave you 30 seconds.
she
and
brought
you did
drag
this.
queens in front
All
of
right,
her children.
Carrie, how do you respond
First
to
of
this
all,
whole
you know
thing?
what? I've never backed away from anything I've done in my life.
Be honest.
I gotta be honest, guys. Like the entire Republican Party is Christo-fascists. Okay, like this trend of Christian nationalism is just like this growing, metastasizing cancer, and it's frankly it scares me more than anything else.
Just about it. That's
Scott,
all we're asking.
I think I'd like to answer.
Let her answer, please, Scott.
There's a reason we don't always invite Scott because he's polling at 0%.
No, 1%.
And this is what happens
But the
when
polls
you
lie.
Scott, please.
Would you like me to answer?
The
I would
last
love
word,
to.
and please make it quick because we're running out of time.
I never hide from anything. I've been honest about everything. The people of Arizona have known me for 27 years. Those pictures actually came from my own website. I don't have a problem if you want to go to a show where someone's a impersonator. This person that made these accusations, many of them defamatory, was a friend and he was funny. But he's lying. He's never been to my home. And I don't have a problem if, as an adult, you want to go to a show. My problem is, and I think every sane, hardworking person doesn't want drag shows in their schools. That's pretty obvious, and that's what it's about.
And that's where we're going to end. With drag schools in our drag shows in our schools.
Drag queens and drag shows.
Time now for closing statements. And going in reverse order of our opening remarks, we start with Karen Taylor Robeson.
Thank you. You have heard big differences from the candidates today. Carrie Lake and I are quite different. She did knock on doors for Barack Obama. She advocated for mass amnesty, and she was a card-carrying member of the liberal media for 27 years. I had the honor of a lifetime to work for Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan told us that freedom was one generation away from extinction. I've had an honor of my lifetime to campaign for governor of this great state. You've welcomed me into your homes and into your communities. I've listened to your stories and I've heard your concerns. Please know this, I will not only fight for you every day, I will win for you every day. We will secure our borders, we will fight crime, and we will help Arizona families who are hurting from Joe Biden's economic disasters in Washington, D.C. Please support me for Governor. Karen Taylor Robeson. Thank you.
All right. And now the closing statement from Carrie Lake.
That was a great memorized line, Karen. You know what? I have been covering Arizona for 27 years. I know the people of this great state. We are at a crossroads right now. Are we going back to the old way of doing politics, the McCain style of politics, where only a few people are brought in, the political elite, and the rest of us are left out? Or are we going to go America first, Arizona first policies? There's a reason President Trump has endorsed me. There's a reason that all of the great America first leaders have endorsed me. And there's a reason President Trump calls Karen Robeson a rhino. The fact is, that's what she is. I encourage you to go to our website and take a look at her real record. I want to secure the border, and we will. We have some of the toughest people on the border who support our border policy. We will secure the border starting on day one. We will improve our schools and make sure our kids are safe while they're there. And we will finally solve our water issues here in Arizona. I encourage you to vote for me August 2nd. Thank you, Arizona.
Thank you very much. And next we go to Paula Tuliani Zen.
All right. You know what? I have to say this, Carrie. You got recognition and endorsements because you are a celebrity. You've been on TV for 25 years. You did a great job. You're beautiful, great figure. But you know what? I've got experience and the obstacles and solutions that I can give to this government. Okay? I know the business. The other thing, I have a question for you. You endorsed Trump. You helped him. You helped him after you left your position. Why didn't you quit your position 2 years before? You really could have helped Trump. You could have been the hero in the United States. Here's Carrie Lake. She's for Trump. She's bashing the media 2 years before while he was president. You got on after he left, after he lost, after you had given up your contract. So what is the point? Why wouldn't they endorse you? You were so visible. And that's the problem. We're getting to people that are visible. No, we got to get to people that can do it.
All right, that's it. That's your 1 minute closing statement, Paula. That's your 1 minute closing statement. You got it?
Got it.
Good. And we know you can't respond to a closing statement. And we finish our closing statements with Scott Neely. Scott.
Because I have the best.
Hi, I'm Scott Neely.
God.
Candidate for Arizona governor. I'd like you to vote for me in the August 2nd Republican primary. You can go to neelyforgovernor.com. That's Neely, F-O-R, governor.com to learn more about my actual solutions, not my talking points. I'm not a talking point guy. I'm a solutions guy. I have the real solutions for Arizona. I have the solutions to solve our water problems, our infrastructure problems. We need to start funding our HERF fund again. We need to start getting our roads and bridges repaired. We need to get Arizona back on track. We need to get homeless off the street. There are so many things we need to do to solve Arizona's problems. And I'm sorry, but
we gotta get rid of all these homeless people, but also We gotta value life. I know it contradicts itself, but that's fine, baby.
The only kind of drag I've ever dressed in is a business suit or construction work clothes. I've never aspired to be Elvis Presley.
Okay, I can tell that this guy is being honest about having never seen drag, because if he had, he would know that construction worker and or business suit are two very common drag outfits, actually. Like, all I have to do is type in construction worker drag, and there are a bunch of different looks. Or business suit drag. Okay, a lot of these are just pictures of RuPaul in business suits, so I guess that still maintains the point, though. Oh, look. Drag queens can also wear business suits. Boom. There we go. Brought it back around. Nailed it.
That's a shame.
All right, that's it. That's it.
Never been to Halloween
That's it.
party?
Thank you to all of our candidates. Programming note, Arizona Horizon will host Democratic gubernatorial candidate Marco Lopez tomorrow, June 30th at 5 and 10 p.m. There is no debate in the Democratic gubernatorial race because the other candidate declined to participate. And one more note, you can watch tonight's debate in all its glory, again, on azpbs.org, where you can catch all of Arizona Horizon's past programming. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
He was later found dead in his motel room. Watch it again? Nah, I can't do that. I can't do that for you.